Hello and welcome along to a live pre-match chat ahead of Leeds United's clash with Crystal Palace at Elland Road. Later on tonight, it is the 64th meeting between the two clubs overall. The game, of course, kicks off at 8 p.m. tonight. We are, of course, live on YouTube and Facebook right now at about 20 past 7. So make sure to get your comments and score predictions into the comment section. I am, of course, Ed McIntyre, and joining me right now is All Things Leeds website writer, Johnny Chick. Johnny, hello, mate.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, looking forward to this one tonight. Should be good.
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it as well. I mean, I didn't think I would be because Leeds United, of course, lost the last game 2-1 at home to Everton. Everton's first win at Elland Road since November 2002. You know, it was a disappointing result, but I mean, Leeds played fairly well in that game, particularly in the second half. You know, it was a great response and well enough to remain optimistic heading into the game tonight.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like it was the second half performance definitely was enough to give us some sort of confidence, I guess, coming into tonight. Like the first half wasn't great, quite drab, obviously conceding the 2 goals. But yeah, the second half we showed some fight, and I'm still a bit annoyed we didn't really get anything from that game. Like I still forget, like we sort of scored so early on in the second half, literally within 2-3 minutes, and to not get anything is a bit annoying. But yeah, no. Definitely confidence going into that, and I'm still confident from the result against Leicester. I still think that's a fantastic result. So yeah, 11th v 13th, we're higher up in the table. So yeah, we should be hopefully collecting 3 points tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It was disappointing not to get anything from the Everton game because we did play well. I think we did enough to at least earn a point from the game. You mentioned the goal there. Rafinha, of course, scored his 4th goal of the season. A very nice finish as well. He should have a big game tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think the last time we played Palace, we saw him for like 45 minutes or so, didn't we? I think in that reverse fixture, he was like, I think that might have been one of his first odd appearances for us. Now, like, look at him. He's one of the best players in the team. So, yeah, it'll be a big night for him, definitely. I think that with their team that they've got, it's not exactly like the paciest defence. So, definitely something that Rafinha could have a field day with, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the rest of the forwards as well. Of course, the Everton game, it was the first time we were using the new pitch at Elland Road. And now I don't like making excuses about defeat. But do you think the fact that it was our first time playing on a brand new pitch, do you think it had anything to do with the result last Wednesday?
You could say that. I think for both, I mean, it's the same for both teams, isn't it? Really, it's the same pitch that they're both playing on. Both teams were acting like it was a slip and slide or something ridiculous like that. They were sliding everywhere. It was ridiculous. So yeah, I guess it's the same for both teams, isn't it? They're both playing on the same pitch. Obviously, we as a home team, you want to kind of get used to the pitch you're playing on, and if you got the whole thing, it's come from London or whatever. But no, yeah, it's the same for both teams, and hopefully we can just sort of get used to it and start picking up results on it because we need to improve the Elland Road form.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will take a bit of time to get used to the pitch, I think. But, I thought it played well. I thought Leeds United, we played our own game again at Elland Road, which was nice to see. It wasn't like the Brighton game where we were just hoofing it upfield. We're actually playing some nice football on it. So, hopefully the pitch holds up well tonight because it's been snowing heavily here. I live about 10 minutes away from the ground, so it's been snowing heavily. So hopefully the pitch isn't too slippery tonight. Otherwise, we might as well be playing on the ice rink next door. Anyway, let's have a look at the team lineup. So Bielsa's named an unchanged team. So Mesliers in goal, Ayling, Shurik, Liam Cooper and Alioski in defence, Phillips in midfield, making his 200th appearance for Leeds United tonight. Stuart Dallas, Jack Harrison, Click, Rafinha and Bamford. Moving on to the bench, you've got Kiko Ksir, Cresswell, Davis, Shackleton, Jenkins, Huggins, Helder Costa, Tyler Roberts. No Pablo Hernandez tonight. Interestingly, it is Joe Gelhardt. So it will be interesting to see if Joe Gelhardt makes onto the pitch tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say I can't really see him getting on there considering the likes of Jenkins and Cresswell have always been on there, and like Robbie Gotts, it could be like one of them. I think it's interesting because I think Adam Pope came out and confirmed that Pablo's injured. I think which is the reason why Gelhardt's on there because I was worried. I was thinking if Pablo's just like not been chosen, then it's like he's probably going to leave in the summer, and chances are he will anyway. But I think he deserves the. I don't know. I just want to see him playing, to be honest. So yeah, the fact he's injured I think for me is better than him just not being chosen. I think against Crawley, it was a real test for some of the under-23s that we saw come on. Like I mean, like Oliver Casey sort of got dropped in the deep end. Was it Jack Jenkins came on? Did he made his debut as well?
Yeah.
I think Jack Jenkins came on, made his debut. Obviously, Greenwood came on as well. So, not exactly the most impressive performances, but I think that's a sort of different outfit. I think the step up between the under-23s and the first team is sort of overlooked a little bit. I think it is actually a massive step up, but they were firing. Was it yesterday? They beat. Who they beat? Was it Middlesbrough? Like
Middlesbrough.
4-1, something like that.
I think it was 4-2, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4-2, something like that. I saw a clip of Neil Warnock was actually there as well on the sidelines, barking at the referees there. But yeah, no, it'd be really good to see him come on. Hopefully, if we have like a comfortable lead, something like that, we can just bring them on and get them their first appearances in a lead shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. And Calvin Phillips making his 200th appearance in the lead shirt tonight. What a long way he's come. 200 already. Can't believe it.
I know, it's ridiculous. Like the story of Calvin Phillips is crazy. I was trying to think when his first game was against Wolves away in like 2004 to 15, something like that. And I actually saw his first goal. I was at the game against Cardiff where there were no Cardiff fans there. If you remember that, it was a really weird goal. The ball came in and it was like the goalkeeper just missed it, and it was like an open goal and he tapped in there. And I remember seeing that, and I remember like he didn't really play in the next season under Steve Evans, and then under Gary Monk he played loads, sort of building up a great partnership with Ronaldo Vieira. And I think at the end of the Christensen era, when he played a lot higher up and scored a lot more goals, I was sort of like, I'd actually wouldn't mind selling him and keeping Vieira. And when Vieira was sold, it was like a massive shock. It was like, right, we're going to have to start Calvin Phillips in a season where we want to try and get promoted. It was ridiculous. But he got rid of his curls, bought in some, braids in and stuff, and he's a completely different player. He's absolutely phenomenal. The journey he's had at Leeds United is something else. Coming through the academy as well, a Leeds fan, it just adds to the story, doesn't it? I mean, 200 appearances for any player is fantastic, but when it's one of your own, a local boy, it's fantastic. And he's come on leaps and bounds. And to say, I think even like 2 years ago, to say that he'd be playing for England is ridiculous, and he fully deserves it. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been fantastic to just watch his journey, from the under-23s straight to the first team. And, one of our best players, a player who we really need in the squad, really. So, hopefully he has a good game tonight. Of course, there's no Rodrigo, who was injured with a groin strain, and Ian Poveda, who hurt his ankle in under-23s game the other week. So they're going to be out for the next few weeks. Do you feel as though we missed Rodrigo against Everton?
Kind of. I think the fact that we missed, like, he was only there for the first goal against Leicester, and the fact that we then managed to go on and score 2 other goals and effectively win 2-0 when he wasn't on the pitch fills me with a bit of confidence. I thought attacking wise in the second half, we didn't really lack too much creativity. I think Dallas sort of provides enough attacking attack to sort of warrant his place in there, as does Click. I mean, you've obviously got Roberts, who can come off the bench, who's actually looked pretty impressive in the last few weeks. And actually when Rodrigo was in the side, there were questions like, is he good enough? Is he having a decent season? Like Rafinha's sort of showing him up a bit as one of the new signings. So I think we'll miss him in terms of that, because he does show good sparks. He does show very good sparks. He's had a good season, Rodrigo, and we will miss him. I think it's only a couple of weeks that he's out for, but I've got full faith in Dallas and Click.
Yeah, same here. Moving on to Crystal Palace, they of course go into the game on the back of a 2-1 win away at Newcastle United. That made it back-to-back wins for them for the first time this season, which is insane. I can't believe they haven't won 2 games in a row at all this season. So they'll no doubt be wanting to continue that run, and they'll take loads of confidence from that. But they are without top goal scorer Wilfred Zaha tonight, who suffered a hamstring injury in that Newcastle game. So he's going to be out for quite a while. Zaha has 9 goals this season. The next highest goal scorer for Crystal Palace is Eberechi Eze with just 3 goals. So how big of a miss is Zaha going to be tonight for Palace?
I think you've explained it pretty well there yourself. Like, it's 9 goals is a fantastic return in a Palace team which, doesn't entirely score that many goals, to be honest. Fantastic for the season at the moment. Like Bamford's on 11, Zaha's on 9, fair play to. But like you say, to drop down to 3 for the next one, I think Benteke and Eze are both on 3, and Benteke is on the bench tonight. So obviously Eze is one of them, was that free kick against Leeds. Another one was a fantastic goal against Sheffield United. I'm not too sure what the other one was. So Yeah, they do lack goals. I think they've got their new striker up front as well, starting. Can't remember what he's called. That's it, Mateta. Yeah, he's starting up front. Yeah, don't really know how good he is or not. I'm sure we'll find out when he sticks 3 past us tonight. But yeah, no, I mean it's a massive miss. Zaha is Crystal Palace. When you think of Palace, you think of Zaha. He's been there. He's a club legend there. You know, he's stuck with him for a long time. So for them to not have him, his pace, his creativity is a massive problem. But I think we can't underestimate how good Eze is. I think Milivojevic and Riedewald is a fantastic midfield duo as well. I think they're criminally underrated in this league. So it'd be interesting to see how they go about today's game.
Yeah, it certainly will be interesting. I think Zaha's a very big miss for them. He always seems to do well against Leeds United as well. I remember when we were playing him in the Championship, and Wilfried Zaha was part of their promotion winning team. I think he scored at Elland Road the last time he played at Elland Road. So he's a big miss for them, Palace tonight. But Eberechi Eze does start for Palace tonight. So we'll run through the team. So in goal it is Keita. You got Nathaniel Klein, Gary Cahill, Scott Dan, Mitchell, Milivojevic, who is the captain, Riedewald, Ayew, Eberechi Eze, Van Aanholt, and their new signing Mateta. And then on the bench, you've got Jack Butland, England's number 1, Kelly, Kouyaté, Andros Townsend, Christian Benteke, and Michy Batshuayi. So a lot of attacking threat on the bench with Batshuayi and Benteke and Townsend. But starting is their new player, which we'll need to wait and see how he does. But Eberechi Eze, I mean, he scored against Leeds United early on in the season. He's going to be one to watch in midfield tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when we played QPR last season, he was always one of the players that was causing us problems from the off. I just remember him running through our whole defence and thinking, this kid's very good. And
quite a lot of players do that, to be fair.
They do. I was going to say, Ben White was doing it the other week. Who was it? Everton had someone running through as well the other week as well, something ridiculous like that. Wouldn't surprise me if Gary Cahill just runs all the way through the box tonight, to be honest. So yeah, but no, he's a special player. I'm surprised he went to Palace, or like Palace could almost afford him. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like I think he was linked with West Ham as well. And fair play to him. I think his link up these had this season fantastic. I think his 3 goals doesn't really show how good he's been this season, especially he's playing as a attacking midfielder. You're not there to get the goals, and Zaha does sort of mop up most of them for Palace. But a fantastic player who is a player that Leeds don't like to play because they run at us. So it'd be very interesting to see how he gets on. But I'm trying to remember how we sort of coped with him. Obviously, he scored the free kick, but it was a dead ball. I can't actually remember how we coped with him in the game at Selhurst Park. I think he was still a bit of a threat, but probably not as much as he was at QPR. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he does tonight.
Yeah, certainly. And what does scare me is Palace's bench tonight, because if it doesn't go well for them, they've got Batshuayi, Benteke, and Andros Townsend, 3 really good attacking players in my opinion. And if any of them get on, they're going to be causing Leeds a lot of problems tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, I was speaking with my dad earlier. I was like, well, they've only got like 5 men on the bench, but all of them are ridiculously good players to bring on. It's almost like it's almost like the Leeds bench. When Pablo is on there, if you remove the youngsters, it's kind of like the players you're going to bring on. So I kind of rate that from Hodgson, to be fair. Like they've got lots of injuries, but yeah, like Benteke, as much as he hasn't really been firing since in recent years, since he left Aston Villa, he's still a experienced Premier League player who can score goals. Batshuayi, the exact same as well. They've got bundles of quality on their bench, and hopefully they're bringing them on chasing like a 2-3 goal lead instead of. I guess the positive there is they don't really have that many players to bring on, because it's quite an attacking bench. So they don't have that many players to bring on to hold a lead in a way. But yeah, certainly if they're chasing one, then those players can definitely come in handy.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a really nice squad of Crystal Palace, and I'm surprised to see that they're 13th in the Premier League table on the same amount of points as us. But we're of course above them on goal difference. But no, they're comfortably mid-table though. But I would have expected them to be a little bit higher, especially in the top half of the table. But of course, a win for either side tonight pushes them into the top half of the table and 17 points clear of the relegation zone. Now Leeds haven't been in the top half of the table since October, so a big opportunity for Leeds United tonight. One to get back into the top half of the table, go 17 points clear of the relegation zone, and it'll be a big step towards achieving a top half finish this season, which would just be tremendous.
Yeah, I was going to say the first step is really to stay up and potentially being 17 points clear or like the 14 that we are at the moment, when those 3 clubs in the relegation zone just keep slipping further and further away, especially from the likes of Brighton and Burnley. Staying up's the first aim, and then to potentially think of a top half finish like being in the top 10 in the Premier League is unbelievable. When you think of the teams like Villa and West Ham and Everton, who are having very good seasons of their own, plus them and the so-called Big Six, that's 9 already. So it's like, trying to fit in with them is fantastic. And seeing Crystal Palace, obviously, I think we've got 2 games in hand of them, but it's also a great achievement for them as well if they can get into the top 10. As much as, I didn't realise how good a squad Palace have as well, like you said. Because I think they're just almost used to finishing like that 12th, 13th position. You don't see them as like a top half team, but like you said, their squad is stacked with quality players. And it's a great chance for both teams to make it into the top half of the table. It'd be a fantastic achievement if we could end there as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully Leeds United can get the win tonight. It's always worth to have a look at the away team's form away from home, and Everton had a good away record heading into last week's game, but Palace don't. They've played 11 away from home this season, won 4, drawn 2, and lost 5. So they're mid-table in the away form table as well. Looking at previous games then, so of course early on in the season in November we lost 4-1 away at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace looking to do the league double over us for the first time since the 1985-86 season. So a long time ago there. But that game where we lost 4-1, it wasn't a 4-1 game, was it really?
No, it reminds me of obviously because of the scoreline, the Leicester game when it was 4-1. But I just think like the chances they had, I can't remember them having any other chances apart from the ones they scored. Like in the first, the goals were a corner, a free kick. They deserve to win, but a corner, a free kick, a ridiculous own goal, and then when we were pushing for a goal, like they scored on the counter attack, like Ayew was left in loads of space as well. But yeah, it was. I think that second half we came out and battered them for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of the second half, and there's always going to be that talk of that goal, isn't there? Bamford's goal that was disallowed is ridiculous. We're still seeing poor VAR decisions like at the weekend with Souček. How that goal wasn't given. I think, was that to equalise? Was that to equalise at the time? Yeah, to equalise at the time. And then it was Bamford's actual goal to make it 2-1, wasn't it? I think it was.
I think so, yeah.
Because I don't want to say if he'd have scored, it would have been a different game. But it could have been a different game, if you know what I mean. If he equalises there, we gain the momentum. It's how football works. So, yeah, it's annoying, but it definitely wasn't a 4-1 game. It didn't feel like it anyway.
Yeah, no, it certainly didn't. I don't think there'll be a repeat of that tonight. I think it'll be a lot closer, and I think there's something in it for Leeds tonight, I think. Palace, the last time they visited Elland Road was in November 2012, as we mentioned earlier. Leeds United won 2-1. And Neil Warnock, Leeds United side, won 2-1. Crystal Palace do not have a good record coming to Elland Road. They've lost on each of their last 5 trips to Elland Road in all competitions. Leeds United have won 8 of the last 10 meetings in all competitions, with the other 2 being draws. So Crystal Palace haven't beaten us for quite a while at Elland Road. As I mentioned earlier, 6th meet between the 2 clubs overall. And now Roy Hodgson as well, he has only managed twice at Elland Road. When he was Blackburn manager, lost 4-0 and then lost 1-0. So, Roy Hodgson doesn't have a good record at Elland Road either. But what can you see happening in the game tonight, Johnny? Can Leeds United return to winning ways and get the 3 points tonight?
I think we've got to go in positively, and I think we've got to think that we can go get a win. I think it would be a 2-0, 2-1 to Leeds, something like that. You've got to predict a win, I think, at the moment with the standings in the table, and I don't know, there is still just a lot of positivity around the team at the moment. And with Geldhart coming in, a lot of fans on Twitter are really happy about that. Even though Pablo's missing, it's great to see Geldhart in there. I think the boys will be boosted by the second half performance against Everton. And one thing I would say is I think it will be 2-0, 2-1 Leeds. But the fact that Palace didn't do the double over us at all in the Championship when they were a very good team over the course of the 2-3 years that we were in there with them before they got. I don't know how they didn't do the double over us like that. I just sort of realised that they didn't do that actually, because I think the one
team beat them in their promotion season.
I know exactly, and I think wasn't it in a Neil Warnock team again? Was it Redfern? I can't remember. Drew 2-2 at Selhurst Park with Steve Morrison scored twice. What a team. Maybe we should have been promoted back then, but no. I think tonight. I think 2-0, 2-1 Leeds, something like that.
Yeah. I think there's something in the game tonight for Leeds United. I think we'll have a lot of the ball. We'll have a lot of possession. I think Crystal Palace will just sit back for the majority of the game and just hit on the counter attack. They've got some fast forwards. Obviously, about Wilfred Zaha, that could change, but no, I do think there's something in it for Leeds United. I think we'll see a lot of joy, especially down the wings with Rafinha and Jack Harrison. I think Leeds can win. What's your solid score prediction? You said 2-1 or 2-0. What's your score prediction? What are you going to go with?
I'll go 2-0. I'll go 2-0 Leeds. I think, like you say, I think we'll dominate the ball. I think the only time they're going to try get us is probably on the counter attack and with Eze, and if they bring on the likes of Batshuayi, Benteke, they can get us at like that. But I think I'll go 2-0.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 3-1. I think we'll score a few goals, but I think we'll concede a set piece because they've got the likes of Gary Cahill and Milivojevic. So they've got some tall players at Crystal Palace, and Scott Dan as well. He's quite tall, so I think we may concede from a set piece tonight. But I think it'll be fairly comfortable for Leeds United. I'm going to go 3-1. Having a look at the comments, we've only got one come in. iLewis20 on YouTube with a very weird profile picture there. Just says
Woody
Leeds,
from Toy
Leeds,
Story?
Leeds. It looks like it, but I don't know what he's done to it. It's a very weird profile picture right there. But no, if anyone wants to get the score predictions in for the last 20 seconds or so of the stream, then please do so. But no, we'll wrap it up there. Johnny, thank you very much for joining me as always, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me on.
And where can people find you on social media?
I think the Twitter's on the screen there. Johnny Chick with 2 underscores. I'm on YouTube as well. Johnny Chick, and then podcast on Leeds TV as well, the Bremner Square podcast. So feel free to check that out. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, make sure you do so. All the links will be in the video description below.
And the blog as well, actually. The blog as well. That's the one, Blog
on the All Things Leeds blog, on the website. Lewis coming in there with a 2-0 score prediction. He's going with your score prediction, 2-0 right there. But make sure to check out the blog as well. Johnny's been doing a lot of good writing on there. But no, we'll wrap it up there. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in as well. We really do appreciate it. Make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe. You know what to do. And enjoy the game. And hopefully Leeds United can get the 3 points.